along with me as I spent a week in Seoul. The last time I was in Korea was almost 10 years ago, so I've been really looking forward to this trip. We checked into our Airbnb, which was clean and minimalistic. There's a bit of a city view from our window, and we chose to stay close to Myeongdong so it's easier to get around. And here's me and my OOTD for the day. We were starving after the 6-hour flight, so we decided to stroll to Gwangjang Market, which was about 10 minutes away from our Airbnb. Gwangjang Market is one of the oldest and largest street markets in Korea, where you can find a lot of traditional Korean street food. It has more than 5,000 stores, and I would say it's definitely a must visit if you're in the area. We stopped by this stall with a very friendly ajumma selling walnut cakes. The outer pastry layer is cake-like and made of dough and ground walnut, and inside you'll find fillings like red bean or custard with chunky bits of walnut. The mold that is used to make these cakes are also walnut-shaped. Arguably, the most famous food in the Gwangjang market is the mung bean pancake. There are at least 20 different stalls selling these pancakes, but the most popular ones seem to be the ones in the center of the market, where they are just constantly churning out new pancakes. We were literally squished between two groups of people. They have this grinder that grinds the mung beans into sort of like a paste, which they then transfer into a huge bucket. So when they want to make a new pancake, they just scoop a handful of the paste and drop it in the oil. I highly recommend giving this a try. It's very thick and doughy and flavorful with a nice crispy outside. For dessert, we popped by this stall selling glutinous rice donuts dipped in cinnamon sugar. They use glutinous rice flour in place of normal flour, so the donuts are extra chewy. I would recommend giving this a go. Just imagine a cinnamon sugar donut but elevated. There's a bit of a queue to get to it, but it moves pretty fast. We then headed to the Dongdaemun area, where we spent the rest of the day shopping. There are a lot of wholesale malls in this area, though not all of them will allow you to buy just 1 to 2 pieces. New has got to be my favorite stop. It has 3 floors filled with accessories ranging from necklaces, earrings, hair accessories, bags and socks and more. Everything is also very trendy and affordably priced, with necklaces ranging from $4 to $10. We decided to end the first day with Korean barbecue. We got some aged pork, marinated pork, and a blue crab stew, which was the star of the show. I don't know how else to describe the stew other than it tasting like liquid crab. It was that rich. For day 2, we are heading to Myeongdong for more shopping and also street food. But first, coffee. I've been seeing many TikToks of people grabbing these packet coffees from Korean convenience stores, so I want to give it a go as well. We went with iced hazelnut, but there are a ton of flavors to choose from. You can also just grab an iced Americano and mix it with flavored milk if you want to be more creative. I personally found the iced hazelnut pretty artificial tasting and a bit too strong. It almost tastes like coffee flavored hazelnut rather than coffee. Nevertheless, the coffee did the trick and we are ready to shop. Let me tell you, the shopping in Myeongdong is insane. A lot of shops here occupy their own building, and the Daiso here was 12 stories high. You do get a good mix of more high-end stores selling random trinkets, and random specialty stores like this one just selling flavored almonds. Time really flies here, and before we know it, it's lunchtime. We went to Myeongdong, which is a very popular Korean noodle and dumpling store. They only have 4 items on the menu, yet people flock here. The meat dumplings are really out of this world, so fresh and meaty, almost as if the meat is medium rare. We spent the rest of the day walking down the streets of Myeongdong and trying quite a lot of street food. We tried these sugar-coated strawberries, which were pretty meh. I give it a 5.10, though Korean strawberries are juicier than regular ones. We also tried Hongdae, which is a deep-fried pancake filled with sugar syrup. Absolutely love this. This pancake is very chewy and crisp on the outside. 10/10 for me. Another must try is the egg bread. It's slightly sweet, very soft and moist, and the bread itself is almost cakey. My all-time favorite is this fruit mochi. Just look at how stretchy the mochi skin is. It has a juicy strawberry inside surrounded by red bean. For dinner, we went to this restaurant that serves barbecue gwangjang, which means intestines. We got an assortment of large and small intestines and also some not so common parts like beef heart. At one point, they even set the whole grill on fire so all the meat's nicely charred. I really enjoyed this meal. The intestines were nice and crisp on the outside and the right level of chewiness. On Korean menus, you'll find fried rice under the dessert section. It's common to finish off by adding rice to the grill and just letting the rice soak up all the barbecue goodness. As karaoke fans, we just cannot miss out visiting a noraebang in Korea, so that's exactly how we ended the night. Unfortunately, we were greeted by a gloomy Seoul today. The plan is to go cafe hopping in Ikseondong. It is an area with a lot of old hanok houses that now houses cafes, clothing stores, and more. Our first stop is the Soha Salt Pond Cafe. It has a lovely courtyard with little salt ponds in the middle. They're best known for their salt bread, but honestly, everything looks really good. You can then enjoy your pastries overlooking the quaint courtyard. We got the fresh strawberry pastry and absolutely polished it. The cream was airy and lightly salted, making for a very refreshing dessert. Korea is also known for having photo studios everywhere. We saw one across Soha and decided to just pop in. Honestly, had a lot of fun posing then choosing the backgrounds that we like. We went to another concept cafe. This one is inspired by a cheese factory, so the courtyard has some cow fixtures and some cheese making equipment. Needless to say, their pastries are mostly cheesy. They've got cheese croissants and also an assortment of cheesecakes. We got a honey cheese pastry and an emmental cheesecake. Honestly, not super blown away. I would recommend sharing because the cheese hits pretty hard after a couple of bites. We ended our cafe expedition at Cafe Layered. At this point, we had a little too much sweets and were craving something savory, so I settled for this spring onion scone. It's nice and crumbly on the outside while still retaining its moisture on the inside. We then sought refuge from the rain and cold at a jjimjilbang, which is a traditional Korean bathhouse. There was a hot tub area and a common area where the saunas are. Continuing with the rainy theme, we went to a local soup place, hands down one of my favorite meals this trip. We ordered a beef stew and sundae-guk, which is Korean blood sausage. The broth was extremely flavorful and hearty, especially on a rainy day. Since it was a Saturday, we couldn't miss out on some nightlife, so we headed to Aura, which is situated in Hongdae. Mandatory toilet selfie here. Had quite a blast at night, and this club is very foreigner friendly. We signed up for a tour to visit the Italian village, Petite France, Nami Island, and the Garden of Morning Calm. The Italian village was honestly pretty underwhelming. It was quite a small space with just Italian-inspired buildings. Petite France was better. There were references to the Little Prince everywhere. We then hopped on a boat that brought us to Nami Island. After spending a few days in a hectic city, I really enjoyed basking in the nature here. You can choose to rent a bicycle or Segway to get around, or just explore the island on foot. Our last stop for the tour is the Garden of Morning Calm. It's a great place to visit in spring or summer when everything is in full bloom. If you're a flower lover, this place won't disappoint. We ended the night at this cozy restaurant in Myeongdong that is known for their boiled chicken soup. I've never had boiled chicken that is so tender and flavorful. Today is culinary day. For the caffeine fix, we headed to Gourmet. They're known for their innovative espresso drinks, and I really like the ambience of the space as well. We ordered one with cold foam and one with caramel biscuits. They were both really good without being too sweet. Next stop, we went to Gwangjang. It has been featured in the Michelin Guide since 2018. It has limited seating, so make sure to make a reservation. We got the spicy and soy marinated crab. It was my first time trying raw crab, and I really liked it. The roll was very rich, and the crab meat is so soft and almost paste-like. Another restaurant that really blew us away was Petite. I can never fathom katsu being so tender. It's served with truffle oil, and the meat literally just crumbles when you bite into it. That night, we checked off the TikTok famous honeycomb makgeolli. I would personally do without the honeycomb because the makgeolli itself is phenomenal. It has a stronger rice taste compared to the commercial ones, which I really like. The makgeolli also went really well with the pancakes platter. Before we know it, it's our last day in Seoul. We decided to take the train to the Noryangjin fish market. It's a wholesale wet seafood market and one of the largest in Korea. It's basically an edible aquarium. You walk around, check out the live fish in their tanks on the first floor, pick what you want, and the restaurants on the second floor will prepare it for you. We opted for the sashimi platter, which was humongous. It set us back by about $60, but for the freshness and the amount that you get, I think it's worth it. Honestly, I had no idea what fish I was eating, but everything tasted so good. We also got a seafood stew and some scallops, but the sashimi platter still stole the show. That night, we decided it would be lovely to end our time in Seoul with some fried chicken by the Han River. Picnicking by the Han River is something that we always see in K-dramas, so we wanted to see what the hype is all about. There were already a lot of people by the time we got there, but we still managed to snag a spot by the water feature, which only got prettier as the night went on. With that, I hope this gives you some ideas for your next trip to Korea. Thanks for watching!